The grand ballroom of the Westfield Plaza sparkled with crystal chandeliers and polished marble. Tonight was the annual military charity gala, an evening where generals gave speeches, donations flowed freely, and war stories were traded over champagne. Leah Carter moved through the controlled chaos with practiced efficiency. At 31, she looked every bit the professional event coordinator in her tailored navy suit and crisp white blouse. No one would guess that just 2 years ago, she'd been Captain Leah Carter, commanding classified operations in places the Pentagon pretended didn't exist. Her younger sister Maya, 19 and home from college for the weekend, had begged to help serve tonight. "Extra money for textbooks, Leo, please." Leah had agreed. She always did when Maya asked. After their parents died in a car accident 5 years ago, Maya was all Leah had left. But now, watching her sister nearly collide with Colonel Richard Brennan's table, Leah felt every protective instinct she'd honed in combat zones snap to attention. "Watch where you're going," Brennan's voice cut through the elegant murmur of the ballroom. Maya froze, the empty champagne tray trembling in her hands. "I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't see." "Clearly." Brennan straightened his dress blues, his chest a fortress of ribbons earned more through politics than combat. "Do they not train servers properly at this establishment? Maybe you should spend less time coordinating and more time training. Or did they hire you just because you look good in that suit?" A few officers chuckled. Maya's face flushed red, tears threatening. Leah's expression remained perfectly neutral, professional. She'd learned long ago that some battles weren't worth fighting. "We'll be more careful, Colonel." But as she turned to guide Maya away, Brennan noticed something. The way Leah moved, economical, precise. The way she'd positioned herself between him and Maya, tactical, protective. And there, on her lapel, a small pin. Not the hotel's corporate logo, something else. "Wait," he stepped closer, eyes narrowing. "What is that pin?" Leah's hand moved instinctively to her lapel, covering the small golden lion's head. It was barely an inch across, worn and faded, clearly not corporate branding. "Is that supposed to be military?" Brennan's voice rose, drawing more attention. "Are you one of those stolen Valor types, playing dress-up with badges you didn't earn?" The conversations around them began to die. Heads turned. Phones were discreetly raised. Maya grabbed Leah's arm. "Leo, let's just go." But Brennan wasn't finished. He reached out and flicked the pin dismissively. "What is this supposed to be? Did you buy it at an army surplus store? The Lion King fan club?" Laughter rippled through the nearby tables. Cruel, thoughtless laughter. Leah stood perfectly still, her hazel eyes fixed on a point somewhere beyond the chandelier. Somewhere in the desert heat. Somewhere real. "I ask you a question," Brennan pressed, performing for his audience now. "Did you serve, sweetheart? What unit? Supply? Administration? Or did you just type reports for the real warriors?" More laughter. Maya was crying now, humiliated for her sister. Brennan gestured grandly. "You know what every real operator has? A call sign, something earned through blood and courage." He smirked. "So tell me, event coordinator, what was your call sign? Coffee girl? Party planner?" The crowd waited, some uncomfortable, some amused, all watching. For just a moment, the ballroom dissolved. Iraq, 2017. Mosul offensive. The deafening thunder of Apache gunships. Sand and ash stinging exposed skin. The acrid smell of burning vehicles and C4 explosives. A younger Leah, Captain Carter, 28 years old, stood in full combat gear, the golden lion patch crisp and new on her shoulder. Around her, a mixed unit of Delta operators and Rangers prepped for breach. "Lion Actual, you have green light. Copy. Golden Lion moving to target." Task Force Golden Lion, a classified Joint Special Operations Unit, so classified that even most generals didn't know it existed. And it was commanded by the youngest female officer ever given combat authority in special operations. The memory vanished as quickly as it came. Leah blinked. The ballroom returned. Brennan was still talking, still mocking, still performing. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was quiet but carried clearly in the sudden silence. "Golden Lion." 2 words, soft as a whisper, hard as steel. Brennan blinked. "What did you say?" "My call sign," Leah repeated, her voice still calm. was Golden Lion. From across the ballroom, a champagne glass shattered on marble. A three-star general, graying, decorated, powerful, had dropped it. His face had gone deathly pale. "Oh my God," he whispered. "Leo?" Brennan looked confused, his smirk faltering. "What? This is ridiculous. There's no way." "Attention!" The general's voice boomed with command that made every military person in the room snap straight. The ballroom doors burst open. General Marcus Webb strode across the floor, his 3 stars catching light like weapons. Behind him, 2 aides moved with the fluid precision of special operations veterans. He stopped directly in front of Leah and executed the sharpest and most respectful salute of his career. "Captain Carter, it's been too long, ma'am." Leah's lips curved in a small, tired smile. She returned the salute with hands that remembered exactly how, despite the years. "General Webb, sir." Webb turned to face the stunned crowd, his voice filling every corner of the ballroom. "For those who don't know recent military history, classified military history, let me educate you." He gestured to Leah, who stood quietly, Maya clinging to her arm in shock. Task Force Golden Lion was a joint special operations unit during the Mosul offensive. Its mission was so classified that it doesn't appear in any official record. 0 failures, 0 friendly casualties. He paused, letting that sink in. And it was commanded by Captain Leah Carter. At 28 years old, she became the youngest woman ever to lead a combat special operations unit. Brennan's face had gone from red to white to green. Webb continued, his voice cold as winter. She coordinated 17 high-value target captures, extracted downed pilots under fire, led rescue operations through active minefields. He stepped closer to Brennan. "She did things you will never do, Colonel, because you're too busy polishing your desk and your ego." Webb pulled a folder from his aide, opening it. Captain Carter was awarded the Silver Star, in a ceremony so classified she couldn't tell her own family. He showed a document, lines of text blacked out except for one phrase, Golden Lion. She was also nominated for the Distinguished Service Cross. It was denied, not because she didn't earn it, but because acknowledging her would mean acknowledging the program existed. Maya stared at her sister with new eyes. "Leo, you never said." Leah touched her sister's face gently. "Some stories aren't meant to be told, Maya. They're meant to be lived past." Webb turned his full fury on Brennan. "You, Colonel, just humiliated a living legend. A woman who has forgotten more about courage than you will ever learn." Brennan stammered, "Sir, I didn't know." "You didn't care to know," Webb cut him off. "You saw a young woman in a business suit and decided she was beneath you. That failure of character will be noted in your permanent file." He turned back to Leah. "The program was declassified last month. Your service can finally be recognized. There's a ceremony at the Pentagon next month. The Secretary of Defense specifically requested your presence." Leah glanced at Maya, then back to Webb. "I'll think about it, sir." Webb smiled. "That's all I can ask, Captain." The gala ended with Leah and Maya being escorted to the head table as honored guests. Brennan was last seen leaving through a side exit, his career in shambles. Later, in the quiet of the hotel's back corridor, Maya hugged her sister tightly. "All these years, why didn't you tell me?" Leah smiled. "Because being your sister was more important than being a hero. After Mom and Dad died, you needed family, not war stories." Maya pulled back and looking at her with new understanding. "That's why you left the military. You chose me." Every single time," Leah said simply. From across the ballroom, General Webb raised his glass in silent salute. Leah raised hers back. The Golden Lion had roared once more, but this time the world was listening. True valor doesn't demand recognition, it simply serves. And sometimes, the bravest thing a warrior can do is choose love over glory.